Madam President,
Majority Leader is recognized.
I raise a point of order that impeachment Article 2 does not allege conduct that rises to the level of a high crime or misdemeanor as required under Article 2, Section 4 of the United States Constitution and is therefore unconstitutional. I move to adjourn the impeachment trial of Alejandro N. Mayorkas sine die, and I ask for the yeas and nays.
Is there a sufficient second? There is a sufficient second. Clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Baldwin.
On this vote, the yeas are 51, the nays are 49. The motion is to agree to. The Senate, sitting as a court of impeachment, stands adjourned sine die.
And with that, the Senate dismissing all impeachment charges against Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, effectively ending the House GOP push to remove him from office over his botched handling of the U.S. border crisis.
So the Republican response, as you can imagine, is one that's very angry. Senator Ted Cruz posting on social media, he writes this: Democrats made a mockery of the Senate today. They couldn't even be bothered to hold Alejandro Mayorkas' impeachment trial. They are running from the facts. New York GOP Congressman Anthony D'Esposito is on the House Homeland Security Committee. He joins us now. Congressman, what's your response to this? What's your reaction?
It's a sad day. You know, what we're seeing right now is Democrats in the United States Senate dismissing a case which was laid out over the last 12 months by the House Homeland Security Committee. And I've said I spent a career investigating crimes, and this is an investigation that I was proud of, one I would have been proud to present to a prosecutor. But yet we see, once again, Democrats like Chuck Schumer and the Senate are dismissing it. And it's not only the impeachment of Alejandro Mayorkas that they're dismissing. They're dismissing the fact that we have chaos, that we have a real problem at the southern border, and they do not want to tackle it.
Again, the GOP members of the House sending a message saying what's happening at the southern border is unacceptable, and it's met with a dismissal in the Senate. No trial is going to take place, no evidence, no numbers of the border crossing, and no evidence of the crimes that have been linked to people crossing into this country illegally. Congressman, while we've got you, got to ask you another piece of legislation passed in the House yesterday called the River to the Sea legislation. We've got some sound on that. We'll play it for you and get your reaction.
When anti-Semitic activists masquerading as merely pro-Palestinian spray paint this slogan on the site of the 1972 Munich massacre of Israeli Olympians, we know, and they know, exactly what they are communicating. This slogan communicates one thing and one thing only. It is not human rights. It is certainly not peace. It is the violent destruction of the state of Israel and the Jewish people that live within it.
There you are, sir, obviously talking about the concerns you have over this phrase, which we have heard chanted time and time again across the country, including on college campuses, looking at some Columbia University footage from just last night. Congressman, do you think this passes in the Senate? And talk to me about why it's important right now.
I mean, I would hope so. You know, I think that we've seen far too often the Senate dismissing stuff that really matters. And of course, a couple of weeks ago, we saw Chuck Schumer, who, I mean, has completely derailed his support of Israel and actually called for the removal of Bibi Netanyahu. I mean, I've compared it to a foreign leader on the days following September 11th, 2001, calling for the removal of President Bush. I mean, it's completely insane that Chuck Schumer, at the behest of President Biden, is ignoring and, quite frankly, leaving to the side Israel. I mean, they're doing this to pander to voters in places like Michigan and Minnesota. And the other night when we voted on the condemnation of From the River to the Sea, I mean, 44 of my colleagues on this list right here, 44 of them voted no. I mean, complete anti-Semites who literally are in favor, clearly, of the destruction and calling for the destruction of Israel, the state of Israel, and the people who live in it. These are the people who are walking the halls of Congress, and it needs to change.